Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are having a great week so far. And sorry I didn't do a video on Monday on the gaming channel. I've been like so busy. It seems like I've been saying that, but it's quite true. And part of it has to do with today. I was working on a person system, and I guess you could say this person was being a bit impatient and persistent and everything. And anyways, I was gonna try to finish repairing a system today, and well, let's just say at a certain point, just because I'm not trying to put the blame on him, but let's just say sometimes, when you put too much pressure on someone, it can cause them to mess up. And in this case, because he kept on texting me like so many times throughout the day, and he'll put a question mark just because I don't message him for a single minute or two, and it's just to the point he's just being just straight up impatient. I mean, I understand, if you want something done quickly, but when you expect a reply within just a minute or two, when they could be on the shitter, they could be eating, they could be doing a crap load of things. Maybe their phone's about dead, or maybe they left the room real quick, or just something. And, because of that, I guess you could say at a certain point I messed up because I put a bit too much thermal paste, and then at a certain point it seemed like the system was just not working, like just not working at all, like period, no matter how long you use the system and everything. And, it was just like, it's okay. And I figured, well, might as well, just, redo it from scratch. And it's about like 10, 11 right now, about 11. And the system, has worked, when I redid it and everything, it was working for half an hour nonstop, perfectly fine. So, I mean, it's just, yeah. And right now the system's kind of blacked out, I guess. And I think that's because it's well, I'm going to start by saying that the system itself is a very old Xbox 360. What I mean by that is that it's one of the original ones that first came out. One of the very first ones, and they were very well known because they were 3-prong instead of 2-prong, and it was kind of stupid. It's like, it defeated the whole purpose of having a power brick, which was to help it, take up, or so then they didn't have to put it in the system and cause any heating issues within the system. And when you have a power brick inside the system, it can make the whole system fail. But when you have, a power brick on the outside of the system, it's more reliable that way, actually. And it includes less heating issues and all that kind of stuff, and, it usually involves it becoming in some way more efficient, so then it could be 2-prong, and it was 3-prong, and it used a lot more power, and the system itself, the heat sinks, on most of the other Xbox 360s, fat ones, not slim ones, they have 3 heat sinks. They mainly have 2, but they have a heat sink that has a heat pipe that goes up to an external heat sink. And for those of you that know about computers, you'll know that, yeah, some of the heat sinks that, they usually have like 2 heat fins. And this one only has 1 heat sink for the GPU, that is. It doesn't have a heat pipe that goes up, goes outwards, and it has a heat sink attached to that, So it takes a lot more heat in general. And the disk drives are on top of it, so it's just, yeah, it's pretty just crazy, how hot that freaking thing gets. And the CPU is just one massive heatsink. It's not as big as the one on the other systems, and I'm pretty happy with the system that I got for myself, because out of all the systems I repaired, the kind that I have right now, that I've been using for many years, I guess you could say was one of the best systems ever made, because the CPU heatsink was very thin, it was kind of on the cheap side, and it was very small and compact and everything. And the one on the, I want to say newer ones, but let's just say newer fat Xbox 360s, the heatsink was massive, but it was just so much more superior and better generally. And the heatsink for the GPU actually, had a heat pipe go up, and then it made another heatsink, so then it could transfer the heat even more, so it's not so much into a small amount of space, with the disk drive being on top of it, like I said, making it worse. But anyways, the system is blacked out just because I guess when you don't press a button for a certain amount of time, it's kind of like a screensaver, but just it blacks out. So, yeah, and it's an older system, and I should be able to get it working by sometime tomorrow. And it's been a bit time consuming, but that's just because, he, like I said, he's just putting so much pressure and just being so impatient and persistent. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound being mean, but, when you're messaging someone with question marks, or you message someone like 3 times within like 5 minutes, that's pretty impatient. But yeah, but other than that, not too much has been going on. I mean, just, because, I don't want to talk too much about the stuff I said in the last video. It was a bit depressing and sad and everything, and I was just upset. And one of the other things I was upset about, mainly was because, I guess you could say recently my mom's been just completely unreasonable, and one of the things has to do with the fact that she was wanting me to mow when she was wanting me to mow only 4 days after I previously mowed. It's like, hold on, I just mowed 4 days ago and you already want me to mow again? It's like, are you kidding me? And it's like, you know, I talked to some other people. I talked to some of my friends, and they said, yeah, you should only mow once every 2 weeks, and if it rains, then mow a little bit early. But it didn't rain that day, and I told her no that day. I was like, no, I'm not gonna mow. It's only been 4 days. I'm not gonna freaking mow again. And I have very few pairs of jeans, and my shoes take forever to dry off, and I only have one pair of shoes. I'm not kidding you. And I did have a pair that was dedicated to mowing, but she asked if her boyfriend could have it, but she said it in a way like, or she said that he needed it so badly and everything like that. And well, now I only have one pair of shoes, and she's bought him a few pairs of shoes within the past few months. So I'm probably gonna ask her if I can have my freaking shoes back, so then I don't have to get my only pair of shoes dirty, all the time and everything. But anyways, back to the main point. But anyways, a few days late, I guess you could say 1 or 2 days later, after she asked me to mow, it actually did rain, and I was like, that's the reason I waited, was because even if it does rain, you need to wait till after it rains. And it got to the point that she ended up having her boyfriend mow for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't need to be mowed. You could look at it, even if you guys saw it yourself, you'd be like, it's nowhere near needing to be mowed, and it was so wet and everything, to the point that they end up having to set it to the highest height, and it's like, there's no point to doing that, because if you set it to the highest height, you're going to have to mow it much more often. If you set it to the lowest height, then it's going to take a lot less time, and you won't have to mow as often. So, and I was like, well, we could just wait 1 day and wait till it's dry. And then she was like, no, I want it done today, and she was just being so persistent. And I guess you could say, because we live in a kind of fancier neighborhood than we used to live, she wants everything to be so perfect to the point, she's being unreasonable, not realistic, and doesn't make sense. And just being selfish and just, inconsiderate. But anyways, besides that, I'm going to try to get back to the main videos and everything, and I'm going to try to do a video for the gaming channel. A lot of the news I'm probably going to be reporting are going to be things that are kind of, not exactly outdated, but things that people might have heard. But there is going to be one thing that's going to be interesting that, I think a lot of PC gamers especially, are going to want to know about and everything. And yeah, so, and there's a couple other things I might actually talk about, some games and stuff that are on the PC that no one seems to be talking about that I think should get more attention and everything, and possibly some other games as well. And there was one trailer I was going to, for a game that I was going to talk about, but it got so much bad reviews, people are bashing the game, and we don't really know much about the game, and the game in some ways was a bit crappy and a bit cheesy, and just seems like, a lot of the stuff in it was stuff that we've seen way too many times, within that game genre, and just, yeah. But, I'm going to try to talk about some other things. I'm going to get back to my reviews on freaking the anime channel, But like I said, this stuff just takes up so much time, but especially when, someone's being so persistent, you have to spend more time on it and everything like that. And just, yeah. But hopefully the system will be fully repaired and everything very, very soon. And if so, then that's great. But if not, then I wouldn't mind giving him some of his money back, because, it's better to do that than for me to end up spending too much time on it, And I usually have no problem fixing the systems. So like I said, this is like the worst system of them all. But one thing I will say is that it has the original dashboard, the very, very original dashboard for the Xbox 360s, which is like really hard to find. And the system had never been repaired before. I was like, wow, a system this old, you would expect it to have probably been repaired a dozen times, but hasn't been repaired before. So that's why I'm trying to spend a lot of time on it, so then I could get it just right, so then it'll have a good lifetime and everything like that. So then, when, people are getting into the next console generation, he will be that one guy that still is on his Xbox 360 is like, and people, when they talk about it, they're like, oh yeah, Xbox 360 Slim, yeah, them things last a long time. And he's like, no, the very first first gen Xbox 360s ever made. It's like, what? The ones that are 3-pronged? And be like, yeah. We're like, wow, I'm surprised those things are working, even after repairing it, a dozen times or more, eventually the thing just gets fried, You can't just keep on repairing something, countless times without it degrading each time, And it eventually just gets fried. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My sister was knocking on the door, and she ended up talking to me about something I've already heard. And anyways, as I was, where I was, like I said, I'm going to try to get back into everything, but I feel like I'm kind of falling on this. And I really hate it when this happens very many times. And, oh crap, now my cat wants out of the room. I have to open the door for her. But, I really hate it when it gets to the point, like, just recently my, monthly views has gone up, and I hit 177 subscribers, and I'm so happy and everything. But it's like, recently I haven't been making videos. I've been getting so busy that, I've been having trouble making videos, and some of it's just stuff out of my control, And you know, I just want to get back to making videos the way I did without, you know, like, you know, feeling like I'm refreshing and having to start from scratch or just starting off crappy again or something like that. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, when I start making videos again, I just want to at least, be as good as I was when I left off and everything. So hopefully the next videos on the gaming channel will at least be decent and everything. And, you know, like I said, I'm going to just try to get back in root and everything. And, oh yeah, the webcam that I've been wanting to get went on sale for $70. Yeah, my cat wants out of the room. And it's going to be on sale until the 24th. So if you want that webcam, then I would probably get it right now. And, you know, the gaming headset, the Siberia V2 Pro gaming headset that I got, which you can't quite see right now, was on sale very recently for around $65, and at one point $62, which is ridiculous because, you know, when I bought it, it was like $75, and that's an amazing headset. It truly is. And the surround sound gaming headset went from $100 to $80. So it's been on sale for an amazing price, and it went back up to around $70. But I'm just saying, you know, if you were going to get a gaming headset, definitely get that gaming headset. It's a freaking awesome headset. Truly is, you know, and always it. And if you could get it for around $60 or even $65, get it. I mean, it just makes the freaking Turtle Beach look like absolute garbage. It's not even a contest. Like, no joke. It is not a contest. Absolutely not. Not in any way possible. Not as far as build, comfort, sound quality, or the, well, if you care about the speaker size, they're 50 millimeters instead of 30 or 40, and the adjustments and that kind of stuff. The only slight thing is that if you want to use it on a console, you'll have to buy a special adapter in order to hook it up to your TV, unless it has a headphone jack or something like that, or if you have the right adapter. But other than that, hands down, just get that headset. But I feel like I'm talking on the gaming channel, but I'm not really. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to get the webcam as soon as possible, so I can do some Let's Plays very, very soon. And my cat's about to start scratching the door. But anyways, other than that, that's pretty much it for today, and I'm gonna try to talk to you guys more tomorrow. And hopefully, I'll have a video on the gaming channel pretty soon. And I'm gonna try to do some reviews on the anime channel since I'm like behind, and I still haven't done one for the most recent video or episode of Naruto Shippuden. And yeah, I mean, hopefully things speed up again and everything like that. If not, then I'm just gonna have to create a reschedule and everything like that, and just get everything organized again. And I feel like I'm going in circles, but that's what you got to do sometimes. So, anyways, sorry for repeating myself, but thanks again, guys, for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow.